In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of the two main ways of entering content into WordPress: posts and pages. Now, there's an important difference between them, and I'm going to go into that in a separate video because it's important to know how to show your client what content to enter into posts, what to enter into pages. Basically, the idea is this: posts are for small, changing bits of content, like blog posts, or for example company news, a new staff member, or you've got a new machine in the shop. Whatever it might be, it's short. Then there are pages, which are things like about the company, something that doesn't change very often and is a little bit longer than a post might be. Those are rough examples anyway. Let's go in now and add a post, because really the difference between entering them on the screen here is very, very small. And let's look at this first for adding a new post. Obviously, the area up top here, enter your title. Then you've got your main text area right here. This is where the body of the post is going to go. We're going to go into this area in much more detail, but very quickly, here's your button bar where your client can create the look, bolding, italics, and that sort of thing. This is called the visual editor. You'll notice here there's a little button at the very end. If I click on this, it's going to reveal a second button bar. Once I do that, it's going to stay in place, by the way. A cookie remembers that. Now, over on the right area here, this is where I can publish immediately, or I can save it as a draft, or I can preview my post, see what it's going to look like on the live site. This publish immediately, of course, can be changed, so I could schedule for the future. I had a client, for example, a minister who had a daily devotion. He would do his entire month's daily devotions and just schedule them right here. And as soon as you do that, it sits in a queue waiting to be published. Format. Now, this is a very important new feature in WordPress 3.1 and very useful to designers. What this allows you to do is create a specific look for a particular type of post. And this will only appear if you've created some in your theme. Now, the default theme happens to come with some formats in it already, and the client can choose what it's going to be. Then you specify in the style sheet how it's going to look. Now, this is an important difference coming up here: categories. Posts can be categorized, pages can't be. And you can add new categories here, by the way, if you want to, right when you're entering a post. But a very important point to make to your clients is they need to change this initial category, and you probably do this for them. But it makes it simple, because you'll find websites that have uncategorized sitting there right from day one. They didn't change it. This is the place where if you don't put in a category, it's going to be put in here automatically. A post has to be in at least one category. Tags are another item that are unique to posts, and I'm going to go into categories versus tags in a separate video, so don't worry about that right now. But this is where you can add tags to your posts. Featured image down below. Now, this is the default screen that comes with WordPress. There are some other elements to the screen that you can add on under screen options at the top here. You could have the excerpt, which is a nice little summary that you can create for the post. Discussion determines whether or not there are going to be comments for this. Custom fields, these are extra fields you can create for your clients and then use in your theme to add information specifically where you want it to be. You could show the author, for example. Clicking on any of these will show the box and keep that box displayed until you turn it off again. So those are some screen options there for you. Let's go over and take a look at adding a new page, and you're going to see, I'm just going to drop this down, you'll see how similar they are right off the bat. Again, title. Notice it's remembered that I've got the second button bar now. And then over on the right, again, the publish box area. Then we get into the difference here between posts and pages. Instead of categories and tags, now what I do is I can choose a parent. In other words, I can create subpages. So I just drop down my menu and it would show me all existing pages there. And you can create sub-pages as well. But here's the real key for designers. You can choose page templates. And in a way, this is kind of like the format box was for posts, but much, much more powerful. Here you can actually create different looks for different areas of the site, for example. Or here's a default one that comes with this theme, one column, no sidebar. So your client could choose that, and what they put into here will come out differently on the page based on the template you've built. This drop down will show whatever templates you've created, so you could have 1, 2, a dozen, doesn't matter. Featured image, again, you can select here. Notice custom fields, we had selected that from before, and discussion as well. I had dropped these down in the screen options earlier, and here's where I could decide whether or not to allow comments and so forth. This screen is going to look very different depending on what you've done, either in your theme or what plugins you've installed for your client. So it's going to be very important for you to go through and help your client understand how to enter material depending on what you've configured for their particular website. So this gives you a quick overview of what things are like for adding new content both for posts and for pages.